Hi everyone, my name is Lami Gidado. I'm the president of the Association of Play Therapy, and I'm back again with the series on preserving culture and celebrating play. So we're doing this because we want to have culturally sensitive play practices. And I'm here with Martha. Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Mortar. I'm a trainee in play
therapy.
I'm a trainee in play therapy, cohort 3.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Thank you.
Martha, it's good to have you here. You know what's interesting is that there's so many things in our environment that we can use in play therapy. I know when we do the training, some of these things we don't talk about them. But we're beginning to see that we don't always need the store-bought toys to provide play therapy. And today, what are we talking about?
We're talking about the uses and the importance of the mortar and the pestle.
Yes.
In everyday play and the uses in everyday, and also the importance in play therapy.
Yeah.
Most especially.
I grew up with mortar and pestle. The first thing I think about is pounded yam. I learned how to pound yam when I was in secondary school, and sometimes we'll pound for about 20 people.
What?
Yes, because I had a large family, yes, and we would pound it, over and over again. But I think we'll talk about what it did for me and the benefits of it. But I know that almost every home had mortar and pestle. Did you?
Yes, we did. And ours is more of a routine that we all shied away from or ran away from because we saw it as work.
Yeah.
And then we pound so much that we had blisters on our hands, so we don't even like pounding. So in my house, literally, then growing up, we pound everything from tomato, pepper, garlic, corn, beans. You pound it to wash it, you pound it in process of grinding it into paste. So everything then was pounding for us, and we always run away from it.
Yeah.
So we didn't even know that there was any healing
benefit, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Until now, when I've grown up and as I'm training, I now got to understand that there are
the benefits
of it.
Yeah.
So lately, while I'm at home playing with my children, I have different types. So once I'm pounding, every other person wants to pound. So they put in different things, and they also want to pound. They pretend play, pounding. Even when I'm doing the real pounding, they also want to partake to do it. So sometimes I just allow them, not minding the mess they'll create, like, okay, I'll clean up later. But even while I'm watching them doing, they get so engrossed in it. You see them doing it, and then they'll tell you they are done. And sometimes when you check, you actually see that they're being able to crush it. And sometimes my son will just do, and I'll look at his face, I'll be like, oh, probably there must have been something that went through. You understand? So sometimes when we're pounding, I think for me, you kind of reflect, because it's either you're humming or you're singing. Your mind is not really looking at what you're processing.
Right.
Like what is being transformed.
Yeah.
Because like grains, when you pound it, you transform it from grains to powder, flour, or paste. And then I think in the process of the grains being transformed, our minds too is also being transformed.
Exactly.
But it's just that it's not well defined, like I'm in a process of transformation, so we don't get to see the process or the way it's being transformed.
Thank you for that. The transformation that you're talking about, turning, you see a grain and then you change it into powder form. Even the fact that something like that can happen. The thing about all our activities, our day-to-day activities, and the children's play is that it's connected to what is also happening in our bodies. So like you said, there's also transformation that is happening. Imagine the child thinking that it means that something can change in me as well, right?
Yes.
If something like this can change, then something can change in me, right? So I also am thinking of those women. I don't know about you, but in the village, when we visited the village, you will see 2 women to 1
big mortar pounding, especially during the harvest period. You see them, they come together in groups. I think for me, it makes the pounding faster and then they work together as community. So to me, I think I see it as the whole healing process. We have to work together.
Right.
Like we have to come together to walk through whatever it is we have ahead of us, so that we see an end result. Just as it's symbolical of how the women come together to work. I think it makes it faster than in one person just waiting to pound a whole bag of grain. But when we come together and then singing as well. So you see they incorporate songs in play. And at the end of the day, there's results.
Yeah, yeah.
And the work gets done.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And you know, they are using a lot of energy. So that means they're expending energy, including the negative energy that they don't want. And, you know, a lot of women, especially in Africa, they don't verbalize how they're really feeling, their true feeling, right? But that gives them a place to express pent-up emotions. So they are pounding and they are releasing negative emotions as well. Wow.
So is it possible that as you're pounding, with all the anger you've built up, you're using all that anger, so it makes the process faster? I'm just thinking.
It's possible, but like, you know, yeah, that's really possible. You're right. You're going to add something.
Okay, I was thinking, do I have to really get angry before I go to pound so that it can be faster, or?
Yeah, but the thing is that even apart from the anger, even other emotions that you didn't know that you had stored up will also be released from there. Think about it. It's like how, you know, in the Western world, people buy punching bags and they put in their rooms, or they decide to go to the gym to, you know, to use the punching bags when they are angry. Even therapists in the Western world will tell them, go, you know, use a punching bag, or tell them to hit something or scream into a pillow, right?
Yes.
That's the same thing that is happening with the mortar and the pestle. When you're pounding, you're releasing all of those negative emotions. Yeah. So yes, I mean, just like you, I didn't realize it until now, being a play therapist, that those women, that's possibly what was happening for them. And then they go about their day feeling better.
Yeah, seriously, like most of them, like those I've observed in my village, you'll be thinking like when I see that, I see it as actually work. I might get tired at the end of the day. But you see most of them even backing their babies, singing. And once they're done, they're not tired. It's as if they even have more energy.
Yeah.
You see they pick up their basins. They still want to go to the stream.
Yes.
And then us, we just look at them.
Yes. Because it does the same thing that it does for someone who goes for exercise.
Okay.
Exercise is hard work, right? You feel as if someone will be tired, but then people who exercise more, they seem to have more energy. You know, then like you said, they go about their, and then the whole day they're at it. They're cooking, they're going to the market, they're doing all of those kind of things.
Okay, so to me, is it possible to say that there's an exchange of energy going on? So one is being replaced with another?
For sure. So what we know about chemicals that are released into our bodies, like endorphins, dopamine, is that when we do things like that, we get more of those
energy is being released.
Yes, because they're called the happy hormones, feel good or happy hormones. So they're released into your body, and then you're releasing out the one that is excess that you don't need, like cortisol. It goes out. That's what happens. So you're right when you say that it's like an exchange. Yes, it's sort of an exchange. Yeah. You know, you were talking about your home and how it's like the children also want to.
Yes. In fact, the little one, we even call her copycat, because the moment she sees you doing something, she's doing the same thing. So I have one smaller than this. I have that medium size. I have a bigger one. Then there's the other biggest one. I just somehow like collecting those things. I don't even know. Yes, because I think I followed my sister to a friend's house in Abuja. He's a Turkish man, and he had a very big one by the side of his living room. He has a lot of leaves, something. So since then, I was like, oh, so I can actually decorate my house with things like this. You know, people appreciate these things more than us. We want to copy them and modernize and whatnot, but he has those things there. So since then, I started collecting.
Yeah.
So when I'm pounding, Ivan, 4-year-old, is also pounding. Mila, 1 year plus, she's also pounding. So sometimes I just drop little grains for them, so everybody pounds. Like, you even see them putting more energy so that they could actually crush it. And there's actually peace during that moment. Nobody is fighting or...
Yeah. Are they all wooden or?
Okay, they're wooden. One is plastic.
Okay.
The smallest one is plastic.
Okay.
Then the other two, they're wooden.
Okay.
Yes.
I would love to have a plastic one, because one of the things I wonder about is safety for the children. For me, I don't mind my children using them even when they're very young. They will learn from it. But many people will think of safety. So I think the plastic is a good idea.
It's plastic. When I bought it, I thought I could crush garlic with it, but
it's not working
at all. So it just went into the play area with the toys for any other person that can play with it.
Right. It's just good to know that they are available.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you think your children are benefiting from playing with the mortar and pestle?
Apart from pretend play, they know that you can actually cook with. It can be useful in the kitchen. So they realize that, he can actually say, I can pound pepper for pizza. You know, they watch cartoons, so they hear all of those things. So I can pound pepper. Can we cook rice? Whenever I'm heading to the kitchen, I'll pound garlic. I'll pound pepper. They just take turns. Okay, Ivan will say, you pound onion. He shares roles. I think they get to do that. So he said he'll share roles for us. Mommy pound this, Mila pound this. So to them, I think it helps in being responsible and also knowing that you could also partake.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So creation processes.
Creation processes.
Yes.
I like that. Like you are creating all kinds of things from pounding.
Yes.
So I guess providing children with different textures, different materials that they can pound, right? And also to see what will come out of it is also important.
Yes, because he knows when we were growing up, we didn't have blender. We went through pounding everything. So I used to blend sometimes, then other times I pound. So he gets to ask, Mommy, let's just pound. You understand? He prefers the whole pounding thing. I just told him one day, I said, if only you grew up during my time, you know, like this pounding.
Because we pounded everything.
We pounded everything. We didn't see the joy in it then, because it was something we all ran away from. But I think subconsciously it did what it did. The whole healing.
Yes, subconsciously, exactly,
Yes.
exactly. Like we're saying about those women, and also for me to pounding. I used to get really upset because it's like, why is Sunday? Because we always had visitors. So why is Sunday? Why not when it's just 6 of us? Maybe like a Monday evening or something. But we will keep pounding different rounds of pounded yam. And like you said...
But that's supposed to be traumatizing.
Like you said, we'll have blisters. But I think part of the fun of it was that I wasn't alone. Maybe we're like 3 or 4. We'll take turns. And
probably the reward is when people eat and then they feel, wow, about it. And you'll be like, oh.
I think even for me, myself, the reward is even seeing that I pounded it well.
Okay, without lumps.
Without lumps. Without lumps. When you start out, of course, you know you're going to have lumps and all of that. Then you now perfect it. And I guess children can learn resiliency also from there, that you don't give up just because your work doesn't come out well the first time. You know, you keep trying until it gets better.
Wow. In fact, I just like what you said about, first of all, when you start, there are lumps in it.
Exactly.
And you don't give up. So when you continue, it becomes perfect.
Yeah.
To me, that's what play therapy is all about.
Right.
You know, when you start at the beginning, you're not seeing results.
Yeah.
You feel, am I doing it right?
Yes.
Should I continue?
Yeah.
Should I stop? But when you continue pounding, the result comes out.
That's true.
And that's
very
where
true.
the reward is.
Yeah, that's true. You know, I have a mortar and pestle in my own play therapy room. And there's this girl that likes to use clay. She'll take some clay and put it in it and keep pounding and pounding and pounding. She's dealing with a lot of emotional issues because her parents separated and all that. But I know that it's an opportunity for her to come and release her emotions. Sometimes it's messy, but I just allow it, and then when she's done, we wash everything. So she'll put the clay, she'll add water, and keep pounding and pounding for a long time. So this is her releasing her own pent-up emotions, and so it can be very beneficial. I know that it's also called abreaction in play therapy. So it's like relieving the, your trauma. It's like a child relieving their trauma, but an opportunity to release it. Yeah. So in the play therapy room, we can use it as that. Okay. Do you think that you're going to have you added it to your resources for play therapy?
I didn't deliberately add it.
Yeah.
It's just lying about.
Right.
But right now, I'm actually going to add lots of African tools into it.
Exactly.
Because lately, I actually cleaned up toys from my house. I cleaned up toys. Like I have a basket filled up. So I'm thinking we could focus on more of this. So I could start telling them stories around African traditional tools and toys.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we could pick up a basket and tell them where it's gotten from. It's gotten from dried leaves. You have to weave it together. If possible, I could actually get them. Then we start weaving. I know it's all a whole process of it's work, but I think we can start that. If I start that with them at home, I can also incorporate it in my playroom as well and add it to my play resources.
Yes.
Because it's really good for us to have natural things within. Because some parents say, we don't have money for toys, but they can actually play with anything around.
With anything. For children, anything can be a play tool. And then for play therapists, I often hear people say things like, oh, I don't have money to buy this, or I can't find them, right? But then we have all of these resources in our environment.
Yes, because I always tell them that in the playroom, anything can be anything. Based on your imagination. Or this can be a microphone.
Exactly.
And this can be a drum.
Exactly.
So I can turn it into a drum.
Yes.
And this can be a microphone. Then I can sing and dance. Then we can change the play into another thing, another activity. We can go and cook with it in the kitchen. So one toy can really be versatile.
I love that. I love what you just said. I mean, you can use it for anything. And that's what we tell kids in the play therapy room, right? That because if a child should ask me, what is this? We tell them it can be anything you want it to be. Yeah, so, yeah, this is interesting, and I've enjoyed talking to you about the mortar and the pestle. Is there anything else that you would like to say about it?
I would like to encourage parents to try and just have these simple tools at home. And we shouldn't let our culture die. We've actually replaced our culture with modern things. Yes. Though it makes work faster and easier, but we're losing our culture.
Who we are.
Yes, we're
losing our identity.
We are, seriously. So we can have these things in the house. Maybe we can have a cupboard or a section where we just arrange them. Then we could have story time. We could talk about it. When growing up, we were using this to do this, to make this with it, so that we don't really forget about everything. So that's just it for me.
Thank you so much.
You're
and
welcome,
like what you just said, I love how you have them for
different ages.
Yes, for different ages. That's awesome. Thank you so much. It's been great speaking with you.
You're welcome,
yes, so with that, we would just like to say thank you for joining in and watching. We're talking about preserving our culture and celebrating play. So thank you for joining us. See you in the next video.